The Academy Championship was tied with seconds left when the cross came in. Riku watched it float, time unspooling into slow motion. To him, the ball fractured into 3 ghostly afterimages, each tracing a different future. He struck before the future had finished writing itself. The net rippled. The keeper never moved. The crowd's roar was a distant noise. Static danced in Riku's eyes, a glitch in his own timeline. The locker room felt colder. Victory should taste different.
What was that out there? You started your run before the defender even committed.
It's called anticipation. You've heard of it.
Don't mess with me. I've watched you. You know things you shouldn't. Whatever you are doing, I'll find out. And when I do, you are finished.
Riku looked away, but the afterimages still flickered behind his eyes. 3 seconds was never quite enough to escape. It started 10 years earlier, on a street that should have been empty. Lightning struck. His heart stopped for 6 seconds. When it started again, something extra was beating alongside it. In the hospital, a nurse listened to his chest longer than normal. The rhythm was off, a stutter that never corrected itself. But the real change was behind his eyes. The world now left a ghost trail, a 3-second preview painted in faint light. By 16, street football was his escape. He wasn't fast or strong, but he saw things no one else did. The ball's path would glow before anyone kicked it. While others guessed, he knew. Every shot was already in the net before the defender moved. He wasn't playing the game, he was playing its memory. Scouts called it preternatural instinct. He let them believe it, but a shadow came with the gift. Every glimpse carved a piece from something deeper, something he couldn't name, and he already felt the draft. Akari watched the replay at quarter speed. The data didn't lie. Riku's reaction time was negative.
He moves before the pass is played. That's not instinct. That's something else.
On the field, Kenta's voice cut through the drills. He made sure everyone heard.
Riku never guesses wrong, ever. You think that's talent? Something's off.
The next ball came. Riku saw the trajectory light up, the net rippling ahead. He forced himself to miss. He twisted his ankle at the last moment. The ball skewed wide, harmless.
Perfect timing, right? The golden boy finally shows he's just as human as the rest of us.
They'd never understand what I see. But pretending to be ordinary, it costs something too.
Akari closed the video and typed into his file, "Reaction times inconsistent. Recommend further observation." Riku sat alone, the afterimages flickering in his vision like a second screen. The weight of his secret was heavier than any championship. Akari's office was clean, but the air was charged. She pointed to the screen without preamble.
Your anticipation is statistical noise, Riku. You are reacting before the stimulus. Explain.
I read the game. Body language, tendencies. It's not magic.
Don't insult me. I've tracked 300 of your plays. Not one was wrong. That's not human.
The warning hung between them. If she sent her files to the Federation, his career would end before it peaked.
She can't know. No one can. But if I slip now, the questions will bury me.
I have no proof today, but if even once you act like you are reading the future, I'll report you. Understood?
Riku stood, the chair screeching. He didn't trust his voice beyond a single word. That evening, the practice match had no audience except one, a figure in the upper stands too still to be a scout. When the sun fell, a faint yellow static danced around the stranger's eyes, the same glitch Riku saw in the mirror. The next training, Riku's skin prickled. That stare from the stands had followed him like a second shadow. At his locker, he found nothing. His boots were gone, laces cut, left like trophies under the bench.
Looking for something? Check lost and found. Maybe.
He's not just talking anymore. He's telling me I'm not safe.
On the field, the weight returned. The man was there again, still and patient as a gravestone. After the session, the figure descended, each step deliberate, until they stood on the same grass. I was like you, once. Sharp instincts. Always a step ahead of the game. But instincts like yours have a cost. A debt you don't feel until it's called. Your instinct is a gift. But all gifts demand something in return. Tatsuya walked away into the dusk, leaving Riku alone with words that landed like ice. That night, alone in his room, Riku caught his reflection off guard. His hand wavered, briefly transparent like heat haze.
Just exhaustion. The light was wrong. Nothing more.
The next match, pressure forced him back to old habits. The future lines blazed and he let them guide every touch. Ghost balls traced perfect arcs. He scored twice before halftime, each goal a theft from a game not yet played. The victory was loud, but the celebration felt distant. Something had been left on the pitch that didn't belong to the scoreline. In the locker room, his fingers hummed. When he raised his hand, the light passed through too easily.
This isn't normal. This isn't just tiredness.
Up in the stands, Tatsuya watched. Slowly, he shook his head. The gesture wasn't anger, it was sorrow. The look of someone who had seen this road before and knew where it ended. Riku pressed his palm to his chest, feeling the stutter in his heartbeat. The draft was becoming a wind. Akari opened a secure channel to the National Federation. Her fingers hesitated, then typed the query. Preternatural anticipation, historical cases.
If my numbers are right, Riku is an outlier. There has to be a precedent. Something I'm not seeing.
The response arrived in minutes. A single file, flagged with an old security seal. Tatsuya, retired, medical. The photo showed a young man, eyes bright, black and gold, kit crisp and unfaded. The note spoke of inexplicable foresight, then sudden decline. Health issues was the official line, but the file hinted at something more. A note about accelerated aging with no medical explanation. Akari placed the photo beside a still from the practice match. The stranger in the stands had the same face, aged and drained of substance.
It's him, the man who's been watching Riku. He's not a scout. He's a warning.
She pulled Riku's file next to Tatsuya's. The reaction patterns were identical mirrors, separated by a decade.
Riku, what are you? And what is happening to your body?
The screen flickered. Akari locked the file, but the truth had already escaped. The game wasn't over. It was only revealing its rules. After the session, Tatsuya intercepted Riku behind the stands, one translucent hand pressing him against the wall. I know what you see. The lines, the future before it arrives. You think you are alone?
How do you know about the lines? No one else sees them.
I was the academy prodigy a decade ago. Eyes full of static, scoring goals before the cross, until it started to take pieces of me.
He has it too. The same curse. And it's destroying him.
The more you use it, the more you trade your own moments for future seconds. Look at your hand. You've already started to disappear.
Trading moments? Disappear? Explain what's happening to me.
I'll show you, Riku. That's a promise, not a threat. Find me after tomorrow's match, and you'll see the cost. Tatsuya's silhouette flickered like a dying bulb. His outline dissolved into the dusk, half gone already. Riku's hand trembled as the invisible draft became a howl. He wasn't just losing time, he was becoming time's ghost. The next match arrived too soon. Riku stepped onto the pitch with a new rule. No lines, no shortcuts. Kenta fed him a pass into a closing trap. The future ghosted in, but Riku refused to look. He tried a simple cut, but his timing was off by half a heartbeat. The defender stripped the ball clean.
What happened to your instinct? Here, let me show you how a real player scores.
I saw the opening. I could have taken it. But if I do, what part of me stays behind?
Every chance, the same hesitation. Riku's touches grew heavy, his decisions a beat behind reality. The final whistle cut like a blade. 1-0 loss. Kenta was already in his face before the echo died.
You cost us the match. All those miracles before. What? Ran out of magic. I knew it. Without your trick, you are just a shadow. Everyone sees it now.
Riku stood alone as the stadium emptied. No glow in his eyes, no future to steal, only the hollow echo of a gift that was becoming a cage. Akari found him in the archive room, half-lit and forgotten. She laid Tatsuya's file before him like a sentence.
Your file says retired, medical, confidential, no diagnosis, no rehab. That's not retirement, that's a disappearance.
You want the truth? Look, this is what remains when you borrow too many futures. He raised his hand. The light passed through it like water, the edges softening to nothing.
This is impossible. A man fading away because he saw the future, yet the proof is right here.
I am aging out. Every glimpse chiseled a moment from my life. Soon, I won't cast a shadow. The Federation knows. They bury players like me in medical files, hoping we fade without a trace.
Then Riku is falling into the same abyss. We have to warn him, pull him back.
He has to see the choice himself. Tomorrow, I'll show him the cost. After that, it's his path to walk. Akari stared at the translucent hand. She was no longer just a manager. She was a co-conspirator in a fight against time. The next evening, Riku found Tatsuya waiting on the empty pitch. The older player's silhouette was even thinner against the dying sun. I promised to show you the cost. This is what's left of a life spent watching futures. The photograph showed a vibrant young player celebrating a goal. Now the image was sun-bleached, the figure fading like its owner. Every time you use your sight, you trade your own seconds for those future moments. It's a debt that can never be repaid.
So my hand, the tiredness. I am literally disappearing.
Accelerated aging out of your own timeline. Use it enough, and you become a ghost on the pitch, watching forever, but never touching. Tatsuya's body flickered, the outline dissolving for a breath before solidifying again. He was more memory than man.
This is the cost. I am not just losing. I am being erased.
Choose, Riku. Use the gift and burn away, or walk away and let the game pass you by. There's no middle ground. Riku dropped to his knees. The future lines flickered in his vision, mocking hungry. For the first time, he saw them as chains. For 3 days after that evening, Riku didn't return to practice. He walked the city, the future lines reduced to a quiet static in his vision. On the third afternoon, he stopped at a familiar concrete lot. Kids played with a scarred ball, their laughter sharp and pure.
This was everything once. Just the ball, the run, the goal. No ghosts.
But the laughter now sounded like a language he'd forgotten. The joy had a shadow. He turned away. That night, he pulled out a single sheet of paper. The words came slowly, each one a surrender. Manager Akari. This talent is a sickness. I can no longer play. Please accept my withdrawal.
If I send this, I am free. But football is the only thing that ever made sense.
He sealed the envelope. It felt heavier than any trophy he'd never hold. Through the window, a figure waited in the evening hush. Tatsuya, nearly invisible against the dark, but watching still. The envelope stayed unposted. Tatsuya's gaze held a question Riku wasn't ready to answer. At dawn, they sat side by side on the old bench by the training pitch. The world was silent except for Tatsuya's voice. I was arrogant. I used the sight for every goal, every pass. I wanted to be unforgettable. And now look at me, almost forgotten. Tatsuya's hand flickered in the morning light, a leaf losing its last color. But it doesn't have to be your story. There's a path between burning out and walking away.
A middle way? He told me there was no middle ground.
Limit the sight. One glimpse per match, never more. It will slow the debt, stretch your timeline into a full life.
Can one glimpse really make a difference? Enough to win?
One glimpse, used at the right moment, can turn a game. You just have to choose when to steal from tomorrow.
Then maybe. I don't have to lose everything. I can play and still live.
The envelope in his pocket felt lighter. Not a solution, but a strategy, a war against his own vanishing. The next morning, Riku walked back into the academy with a new stillness. Akari met his eyes and knew he had chosen to fight.
I won't ask what happened. Just know that I'll cover for you, but the moment you slip, everything breaks.
Kenta noticed the shift. That evening, in a cafe corner, he slid a USB drive across the table to a journalist.
Next time he reads the future, the whole world will think he's a cheat. No more hiding.
By noon the next day, Every sports outlet ran the same headline: Mystery Striker Riku. Cheating allegations. Comments burned with disbelief and fury. The press conference room was a jungle of lenses. Riku stepped to the podium, the future lines flickering in his peripheral vision like static.
I have never used a device or substance. My anticipation is a gift of instinct, not a crime.
The words rang hollow even to him. He wasn't cheating, he was cursed, but the public only heard denial.
They'll watch every move now. One wrong step, one impossible goal, and I'll be branded a fraud.
The questions kept coming, but Riku stepped down. The walk back felt longer than any sprint. The world had decided his guilt. Within a day, the Sports Council issued a statement. An official investigation into Forward Riku's extraordinary anticipation has been opened. They don't want the truth. They've known about this for years, and they bury anyone who proves it.
Barry. What does that mean?
Forced medical retirement, locked out of the league. They call it unfair advantage disposal. I was one of their quiet cleanup jobs. Akari placed a sealed memo on the table, the Federation's internal directive. If substantiated, immediate contract termination and lifetime ban.
The investigation won't find devices, but the pattern alone is enough for them to act. They deal in suspicion, not science.
You need to win without the sight. One clean match, and they'll have nothing concrete. But if you slip...
So the only way to survive is to play like an ordinary striker and still be extraordinary.
The weight of his own vanishing, and the weight of the system now pressed from both sides. There was no more time to doubt. He tore the resignation letter into 6 pieces. The fight wasn't over. It was only beginning, one glimpse at a time. Every dawn before the team arrived, Riku was already on the pitch. The future lines whispered, but he locked them away. Stop staring at the ball. Watch the player's hips, the angle of his foot. The game is written on the body. Tatsuya modeled the movements himself, a ghost reenacting the goals he'd stolen a decade ago.
He's reading my mistakes without seeing the future. This is football I never learned.
Kenta sat on the stands, arms crossed. He couldn't understand why Riku was training harder than ever.
He should be crumbling. What's feeding him?
Good. Your body is faster than your fear. Now run the drill again, blindfolded. Riku pulled the cloth over his eyes and ran. His ears traced the scuff of boots, the whisper of a pass.
I moved before I knew why. That wasn't sight. It was just the game.
When he collapsed at sunset, Tatsuya was barely a shimmer. But for the first time, Riku's exhaustion felt earned, not stolen. The Federation's investigation found no device. But lack of proof only sharpened their curiosity. They assigned an observer to the championship final.
They'll be watching every pass. Your job tonight is to play clean, play human, and win.
The coach posted the starting 11, Riku and Kenta, side by side, a partnership neither of them wanted.
Try not to get in my way tonight. I'll score the goals. You just stand there and look like you are earning your place.
Just pass the ball when you're done showboating. We have one match to save everything. One glimpse. I only get one. Make it the last touch of the game, if I have to.
The tunnel echoed with the roar of a stadium sold out to witness either glory or disgrace. Kenta shot him a final glare. The referee's whistle hovered in the cold air.
This is it. Play like a ghost, or become one forever.
The final had begun. One match, one chance, one glimpse. The opening minutes were a fistfight with no gloves. Riku focused on shape, not the lines quivering at the edge of his vision. Kenta demanded every ball, his calls sharp and territorial. Each shot sailed high while Riku stood in space, unseen.
He's burning our chances. But if I say something, the partnership cracks.
Riku made a diagonal run into the box. The future traced the pass he needed. Kenta turned away and lost possession.
A single touch would have freed me. I saw it, but I didn't take the glimpse.
The opponent's pressure mounted. Riku dropped deep, tackling as if his future depended on it. Because it did.
The lines are screaming. Just a second of sight, and I'd know where the cross will fall.
He shut his eyes for a heartbeat. When they opened, the paths were gone. Only the chaos of the present remained. The whistle blew for halftime. The scoreboard read 0-0, 45 minutes of torture, but Riku's secret was intact. In the locker room, Riku sat drenched. His hand was solid on his knee, still belonging to this timeline. He hadn't stolen a second. The second half opened with a single mistake. A deflection spun loose, and an opposing striker fired low into the corner.
You see that? That's on you. You had a chance in the first half and did nothing.
I am playing clean. We still have time.
Time was a poison now. Every ticking second whispered a temptation. Look ahead. Find the lane. Take the shot. In the stands, Tatsuya's outline shivered. He could see the static building, the moment before the fall.
One glimpse. I could see the deflection, the gap. Just one.
The lines blazed. 3 ghostly trajectories painted the goal. Then Tatsuya's voice echoed, "You just have to choose when to steal."
Not yet. If I use it now, I'll have nothing left when it truly counts.
He blinked hard. The lines vanished. The present was empty, blind, but it was his. The scoreboard glowed 1-0. 14 minutes remained. Riku had held the line, but the war was slipping away. The 4th official raised the board. 3 minutes of stoppage time. The roar was a wall of noise, but Riku heard only silence.
This is it. The last chance. If I don't use it now, there is no tomorrow for me.
He opened the door. For 1 second, the future lines blazed with terrible clarity. The arc of the ball, the keeper's dive, the net rippling. His foot met the ball, and the ghost shot became real. The keeper lunged exactly as predicted. A puppet in a dream already dreamed. The net exploded. Sound returned in a tidal wave. The stadium became a single, endless scream. But Riku didn't hear it. He was on his knees, a cold wrench deep in his chest. A second stolen from his own timeline. The cost exacted in full. He looked up, searching. In the stands, Tatsuya was a smear of light and shadow. Translucent but smiling. "You did it, Riku. You chose the right moment to live." Tatsuya's form flickered, fading faster now, but his eyes held peace. The peace of a debt finally settled. Riku raised his hand. Solid. Real. He had stolen only one moment, and he had paid for it with pain, not extinction. The celebration roared around him, but Riku moved against the current, pushing past teammates and staff toward the quiet corner of the stands. Tatsuya was there, barely more than a shiver of light. But the smile was solid. It had waited for this moment. "Because you chose a full life, I can rest." Someone finally broke the cycle. Thank you, Riku.
I nearly became a ghost for a game. He saved me.
Goodbye, striker. The pitch is yours now, every second of it. The last outline dissolved, and where Tatsuya stood, only warm stadium light remained. Riku sank to his knees, tears cutting through the grime. But the ache wasn't loss, it was gratitude.
He's free, and I am still here, with a full life ahead.
When he rose, the medal meant nothing. The real prize was the weight in his chest, a lesson, not a curse. And somewhere, in a fold of the wind, a final smile pressed against the stands and was gone. In the seasons that followed, Riku never broke his rule. Every match, one glimpse, and only when the game demanded it. His legend grew not from impossible goals, but from the discipline that made them rare. He became the striker who earned every net.
Every choice is a trade. I know the price now. I pay it willingly.
The Federation's investigation faded into nothing. They found no device, no explanation, only a player who seemed to know when the moment was right. He never spoke of Tatsuya. But when the stadium fell quiet before the whistle, he felt the draft, and it no longer scared him.
He gave me back my future. The only way to honor that is to live every second.
The game went on. Trophies came, then more seasons. But Riku measured his career by the number of times he said no to the lines. On an evening like any other, he stood alone on the training pitch. The breeze passed, and somewhere inside it, He knew.
See you next match, old ghost.
The field stayed silent, and the world for the first time felt perfectly on time.